Today, I want us to look at Kenya after Tuesday. Tuesday, the 28th of November in the year 2017, is important to Kenya because it's the day that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta starts his second term as the President of the Republic. But before looking at this day, I want us to ask a question. Is Kenya having two presidents as we speak? Will we be staring at the danger of having, for the first time in this country, a situation in which there is a legitimate president, duly elected, sworn in, and another leader recognized by a significant part of the population as their president? This is not an empty question, given that on the 25th of November, on Saturday, 2017, the NASA coalition, in a communique issued at Manzoni Lodge in Machakos County, asserted that they recognize Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka as the legitimate president, and that they will be working towards ensuring that the duo assume office. This could spell doom for the country. However, for today, I want us to focus on Kenya after Tuesday. But before I look at what I want to talk about today, let us examine two minor issues about the swearing in. The first one is to do with the seriousness of the occasion. This is a solemn occasion. It is serious. However, as a country, going forward, we must learn to let simple things remain simple. Let us not complicate an event such as a swearing in of a president for his second term. Kinyua, head of the public service, in addressing the nation about the preparation for the swearing in, said this event was going to cost a little over 300 million, according to him. And that was okay. I think as a country, we must learn not to be wasteful. Let us not live up to what people have said, that you can easily identify a poor person, in a sense a poor country, by their wastage. That poor men are wont to waste, poor countries are good at wastage. Let's, in future, keep the swearing in of a president when he's going in for a second term, and keep it as simple as we can, with a minimal cost. I really admire some of the governors who said they were not going to spend a lot of money for the swearing in. For example, Charity Ngilu said she didn't need a big function. She didn't even need chairs to be hired. All she needed was a swearing in to be done somewhere with people standing, and does it. I must also appreciate my governor, Wilbur Tichiro, in Vihiga County, who reduced the swearing-in budget from about 20 million shillings to slightly below 4 million shillings. This must be commended. The other issue about the swearing in on Tuesday is a question of how to deal with NASA's parallel rally at Jacaranda. I think Nairobi is big enough to accommodate both parties. Let us allow NASA to have their thing, because not to do so will be to create room for chaos, and this would in fact scare away people who might have wanted to come and celebrate with Kenyatta, including foreign dignitaries. They may not come in Nairobi if the police boss in Nairobi, Kome, declares some zones as red zones, where he has created red lines. Let us not militarize Nairobi. Let people go and celebrate with their president at Kasarani. while at the same time allowing Raila and his team to mourn the dead at Jacaranda. There's nothing wrong with mourning and celebrating at the same time. Next week is the first and the last weekend of the month. You'll notice a lot of wedding processions. You'll also notice a lot of funeral processions. That is the duality of life, the binary nature of life in which we live. That's why we have day and night. That's why we have warm and cold. That's why we have good and evil. That is why we have death and life. So let the NASA people mourn their dead. Let the Jubilee people celebrate their victory. Now, Kenya after Tuesday. One thing that will be good after Tuesday is that we will have a president who will be enjoying full incumbency. I hope with the confidence that comes with that full incumbency, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be in a position to extend a hand of friendship to his brother Raila Odinga and invite Raila and the country for a national dialogue. I've said this before, the only way we have is to sit down as brothers and sisters and talk and chart the future of this country. I know it's going to be difficult, but we can always try for the sake of our country. I also pray that none of these gentlemen gives impossible demands or conditions. For President Uhuru, I expect him to give just one condition, that his presidency is off limit. That is no subject for discussion. I pray that Raila accepts that position for the sake of this country, but that Raila in turn is allowed to give one condition, that other than the presidency, everything else will be put on the table. That this would include or may include whether or not to have free and fresh elections. And if to have those elections, how to have them. This could also include changes to the constitution that are deemed necessary to push this country forward. Now, with that confidence, we can move forward as a country. It is possible that the country can move forward because after these discussions, we may perhaps even have elections before 2022. And this might be attractive to Raila Odinga. President Uhuru Kenyatta may find this also not difficult to take, because who knows, in the ensuing elections he could win, because part of the constitutional changes would be to make provisions that maybe would allow him to run as for a second term, so that what he has started may not be counted. In the run-up to the election in August this year, I said two things. One, that it was going to be very difficult for anybody to win an election through fraudulent means, or through means that are perceived not to be fair. The events of the past 3 months also have proved me right. A process that ought to have ended in August this year is going to end on Tuesday, just 3 days shy of December. The second thing I did say was that going forward, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to be president of this country if they didn't win the election in a free and fair way. I'm therefore inviting the two gentlemen to do whatever it takes to put this country on a path that is predictable, a path that ensures stability for the country and the future generations. This will be achieved through the national dialogue. We can do this in the spirit of nationhood, in the true spirit of brotherhood, brotherliness, in the spirit of being Kenyan and is not asking for too much. Indeed, I am sure none of these two gentlemen would want to live in a Kenya that is full of anarchy, full of chaos, not even if you are the President of the Republic of Kenya. For those who are saying that after Tuesday, they can manage the situation easily, I invite them to rethink again. Because to imagine that things will be rosy after Tuesday merely because you have gone past the swearing in will be to delude yourself. Again, I repeat, for the sake of this country and for the sake of the children of this country and the future generations, let Tuesday mark the day when we begin national dialogue and national healing. We are not asking too much from any of the two gentlemen. We are only asking them to show their love for this country by sitting down to talk and chart the future of this country.